Meg, I'm sure probably when Ms. Fields was out that day, she didn't have the intention of hitting her husband, but what the police have said is that after she did, she left, and not only that, she burned the car to try and cover the tracks, and it took obviously this long to find her. What do you think about all that?
I think it came quicker than I expected. I didn't really know what that would look like. It felt more sudden than a couple weeks. I think it made the initial feelings of that just come back. So a little bit scary in that sense, just kind of reliving that moment of just shock and pain and fear and all those things that just come up.
Do you have an opinion about, she's facing serious felony charges now.
Sure.
Do you have an opinion about what should happen with her?
Not really. Like I know that the justice system is already in play on that end. I think if it was up to me, it's not something that I would pursue against her. It's not something personal. I think those are just consequences of breaking the law that's in place now. But I don't have animosity. I think to make that even make sense to most people, you'd have to know our story. My husband, he came out some pretty rough beginnings. So did I. So we've been in broken places and done hard things that hurt lots of people. So our lives are just really, we've been recipients of lots of grace, lots of forgiveness, and so it only seems fitting to, in this moment, to give that back to somebody else.
I guess from a practical point of view, your husband being the sole breadwinner, we understand, and you have 9 children living at home. I don't know about her issue in terms of if she has any kind of insurance or anything like that, but there's the practical aspect of being able to take care of your family.
Sure.
What do you think about that going forward?
We've seen, radical generosity. We've had people step in and, pay off my house, pay off my cars, put a new roof on my house. Like, it's just been above and beyond just shocking generosity. I think God's going to take care of us. I think there's, the practical sides too. We have income that comes in through another source, and there's, obviously insurance coverages and teacher benefits and all that coming our way. So, it's not really, maybe it should be high on the concern list, but that's not really a high concern at the moment.
Can you talk a little bit about how, these past few weeks have been, coping with the loss and just trying to move forward as a family together? I know you've had a lot of support from your neighbors. Yes. And even the church.
Definitely. It's been very different. Obviously, our whole worlds were wrapped up around each other. So, and then in some senses, it just keeps moving. The kids are homeschooled, so they've always been with me. My husband was studying, so there was lots of late nights of me putting them to bed by myself and, hurrying them off here and there. I think we'll definitely miss the difference of everything he had to bring, but there's 10 people whose lives are still here, and that we just got to wake up every day and keep moving.
How are they doing?
They have been amazing. Their responses are, I think they're taking their cues from me. So, they've just, they have their moments. We all have our moments where there's tears and not knowing, and then we get up from that place and we just do what we always do. We play, we eat, we do chores, we do school. We just got to keep moving.
Meg, I don't want to put words in your mouth,
Sure.
but what struck me is that one of our folks talked to some of your friends after the arrest, and they said that they forgive her, that there was no animosity, which just, that's extraordinary. It kind of sounded like do you forgive this woman for what she did?
Absolutely. Again, like I said, we've been recipients of lots of forgiveness. We came out of some pretty broken situations, and so we've seen radical forgiveness from God. We've seen radical forgiveness from people, and yeah, I think it would be criminal not to respond like that. Like, yeah, I don't know how I could hold something against somebody that when I've experienced so much forgiveness.
You mentioned the generosity. We checked these fundraisers. Saw that the GoFundMe, which had a target of $250,000, is already well in excess of $200,000, and somebody gave you $20,000 anonymously. What do you think about that?
I'm shocked. Like we're such small people. Like we literally live such mundane lives. He went to work every day. I homeschooled my kids every day, and we played on our front lawn. That was like the extent of our life. Maybe we went across the street to Ken's house. That was about it. So to see such a wide ripple effect, to me, it's appalling. Like I can't even believe that many people would take notice and care enough to actually do something as big or small as it was. Like every little donation has been amazing to me.
From talking to friends and even reading some of the GoFundMe, just, the notes that people were leaving, obviously he left an impact on the people that he came across.
Yes.
What do you want people to take, from him and move forward with? What do you want his legacy to be?
I guess that your story doesn't really have to be perfect. But I think when you make amends with your past, there's lots of hope for the future. Like you don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to stay a mess. You don't have to stay broken. You can become something completely brand new. That's his life story. That's what he loved the most about telling kids in the classroom. Was it doesn't really matter your home situation or where you come from. He was a high school dropout to a teacher with a ed specialist degree. So, yeah.
I guess you meant, this generosity is not over either. Understand that there is a bike ride on Saturday, and there's obviously a very strong biking community in the Kansas City area. A lot of people are out on the road. It could have been any one of us that are in the same kind of boat, and I think do you think that's touched a chord with people, the way this happened?
Oh yeah, I think it's in so many different streams, in the church, in the school settings, in the biking communities, in our neighborhood. It literally could have been anybody. So I think it was just very sobering for anybody who hears the story to be like I don't necessarily know if tomorrow's promised to me. So really to take advantage of every moment, even the little mundane ones. I think that's one of the things my husband did the best, is he just made peace with just living every moment with lots of love. And it just made a huge impact. Huge impact.
As you keep telling the story and keeping this memory alive, are there certain moments that keep coming back up with your kids and loved ones? Just any specific moments?
For us, probably the goofiness. It was always a song or a dance or, some random outburst. I'm not quite as funny as he was. So, yeah, I think those are the things. We got tons of videos, so the little ones will grow up on, I think, seeing those videos, hearing those stories, the outrageous ones. And, I think we're just going to learn to keep laughing, keep remembering how much fun we had, and keep having lots of fun ourselves.
Are you starting to see traits in your kids that came from him? Do you appreciate them more?
Oh yeah, some more than others. I think everybody's got a little bit of that wild, fun spirit in them. They're all a hoot. But yeah, some are strong. Some are very intense, like they know what they want. They're going to go and they're going to get it. Some are quiet, but very diligent, and they don't necessarily have all the skills naturally, but they're not afraid to work to get them. Like so many, there's just so many things. They love people well.
Meg, as you know, there's going to come a point here in the not too distant future when all of us are going going to go away, and there's not going to be as much attention on
Sure.
what has happened to you, but you still have to raise 9 children that live in
Yes.
your house.
Right.
What are your thoughts about taking that on going forward?
I think, I don't know, our whole journey in parenting, we always felt like it was something that we were called to, not necessarily something that we were equipped for. We studied the Bible a lot. We prayed a lot. We asked for help from the community, a lot, just like that support, like, hey, can you watch my kids? Or, hey. So it's always been something that was always beyond us. So now it's still beyond me. So I just keep doing what I've always done. And I believe, the community is going to come through. God's going to come through. My family's been super supportive. They're thinking about moving down here. So, I know when all the cameras and lights disappear that we still have so many people that are willing to stay and support us, see us through.
What else can the community be doing for you right now?
I don't think there's anything anybody hasn't done. Like I have a basement shelf full of, toilet paper and diapers, and like if you put it on a needs list, I've already have it in my basement on a shelf somewhere. So I can't think of anything. Everybody's come through in so many ways.
Pretty clearly, doing this at a church speaks volumes. I mean, you are a person of faith.
Sure.
And that's a big part of what's pulling you through this, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. Number one. Yeah. I think our lives were well grounded before this, and it's not our first round through hardships, through life. Life gets real. And just, we've worked this muscle a few times. So, it just seems the natural response, something that's already been there. We're just drawing from.
Anything else that you want to add?
I think always in the back of my mind. I think my kids are in the front of my mind. I think right in the back of my mind behind them is the kids, the students in the classrooms. That won't have that connection point anymore. But I just, if they want to be like him, if they want to emulate him, like just walk in his footsteps, do what he did, one day, one step, one right choice at a time.
In addition to the bicycle ride and the GoFundMe, are there any other things you can include?
There is a website called charliestrust.com, is that right? And there's another avenue for giving with Faith Street, it's called. And it's tax deductible, is that right? Yeah. So if anybody wants to give through a tax deductible, that's it. But it's still all going to us, so.